At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability, ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
It's good to have you on board. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. As always, happy New Year's Eve to everybody out there. We're live on the air until 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 o'clock Pacific here today, getting you up to date on some of the scores that we have in these bowl games in college football. Louisville leads Washington 35-21. Midway through the fourth quarter, Louisville a 13.5-point favorite in play. That is at DraftKings. Third quarter action, Illinois 7, South Carolina 3. South Carolina down to 2.5-point favorites in play. And LSU is leading Baylor 28-14, but 90 seconds to play before halftime. That total now is up to 75.5 in the game.
Is this a real score? With 4 minutes left, the Celtics lead the Raptors 111-62?
Yeah, and as a result, I'm going to lose a Jason Tatum prop because he was yanked early on in the game. But that's what you get when you play really bad teams.
And then the Pacers lead the Bucks 93-88, 10 minutes left in the game.
Professional sports bettor Paul Stone joins the program now. You can follow him on X. He's at Paul Stone Sports, and he is on the Progressive guest line. Happy New Year, Paul. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Doing well. How are you, gentlemen?
Doing really well. Let's go to the big game that we have tomorrow in Pasadena, the Rose Bowl. You have two different bets with the Buckeyes and the Ducks. The floor is yours. Take it away. What do you like?
Yeah, I'll tell you, Mitch, of the 8 remaining teams, I really think 6 are capable of winning the national championship. And I think if you were willing to take a flyer on Arizona State, there's certainly a long shot, but there might be 7. I think Boise's the only team remaining, in my opinion, that's not going to win the whole tournament. So it's a really balanced field. You know, there's no historically great team, but there's a handful of really good ones. And I think Ohio State, with that said, when Will Howard, their quarterback, when he plays like he did against Tennessee, he did throw one interception, which has kind of been his Achilles heel when they were ahead of the Volunteers 21-0. But he was really sharp otherwise. He completed 24 or 29 passes, 311 yards, 2 touchdowns, rushed for another 37 yards. And again, interceptions are kind of what's going to define Will Howard, good or bad. He's thrown 34 career interceptions across 5 seasons in college play, an interception rate of 3%, which is really, it's not only not good for a championship level quarterback, it's below average for a college quarterback, period. But if he's on his game, Ohio State's going to be a tough out for anyone. I really like where they are right now, especially if Howard gives them good play. And you never want to lose a game, guys. But I really believe in the end that the Buckeyes' regular season loss to Michigan 13-10 there on their home field might have been a wake-up call. You know, instead of going into the playoff on potentially a 7-game winning streak, you know, riding high and feeling good about yourself, now they're a little bit upset. Everybody's talking about them from the outside. They're a little bit pissed off. I think it gives them that edge. I think, sometimes this type of defeat can galvanize a program. Been well chronicled that Oregon won the first meeting between these teams this season, 32-31. Oregon's had the home field advantage, obviously, in that game. I see that defeat not as a huge advantage for Ohio State, but I see it as a small advantage. I think it is on your side that you lost the first meeting. The Ducks are a solid team. They're 13-0. They deserve to be the number 1 seed, but they do have 4 one-score victories. I think the Bucks are going to get revenge here. The Bucks over the Ducks, Ohio State -2. And then going into my other selection in this game, I think there's going to be a lot of scoring. I actually made this total 59.5. I'm surprised that it was as low as 55 earlier today. I think it's pretty much 55.5. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But these two teams, they combined in that first meeting for 963 yards. Yep. They averaged collectively 7.2 yards per play. And looking at Oregon's defense, this is dating back to 2022, but in their last 10 games against ranked opponents, they have given up 30 points or more to 7 of those 10 opponents. So good teams score on the Ducks. Dylan Gabriel, he's been a big game hunter. Not only this year at Oregon, but last year, maybe not single-handedly, but I was at the game, and Oklahoma doesn't beat Texas without Gabriel playing lights out, threw for 285 yards, ran for 113 against the Longhorns last year, and then he's had big-time efforts against the two best defenses probably on their schedule this year, that being Ohio State and Penn State. They scored 32 against Ohio State, 45 against Penn State, total of 77 points in those two games. Oregon, they've allowed 7 yards of play in those victories over Ohio State and Penn State, which is a lot, but they average 7 yards per play in those two victories. The Ducks' offense giveth, but the Ducks' defense taketh away. I think we're going to see lots of points. I think this game's going to go over, so over 55.5, Oregon, Ohio State.
We're not done after these marquee playoff games. We still have some lesser bowls. Is there a lesser bowl on Friday that you like?
Yeah, it's going to be the game in the Bahamas in Nassau between Buffalo and Liberty, which is really not one of the more attractive games probably to the typical college football fans. But obviously we're a little bit different here. This game opened back on December 9th. Liberty was actually a 2.5-point favorite. But that was before Caden Salter, their standout quarterback, and 3 starting offensive linemen went into the portal. Salter has since decided on Colorado, so he'll likely be paying for Coach Prime next year in Boulder, assuming Coach Prime is in Boulder. The Flames, additionally, Liberty lost their 1,254-yard rusher, Quentin Cooley. He opted out of the game to prepare for the NFL draft. And you have some other players for Liberty that won't play in this game. Even with their full roster, this Liberty team, they struggled down the second half of the season. They lost to Kennesaw State. They lose to Jacksonville State, also Sam Houston State. And they needed overtime to defeat UMass on the road. So they really didn't play well in the second half of their season. And I think this season for Liberty, it was playoffs or bust. I mean, last year, they make the New Year's Six Bowl game against Oregon. They've got a lot of people coming back. They've got their quarterback coming back. And they've got an easy schedule, perhaps the easiest in the country. And their designs, their only goal was to go 13-0 and give the committee a lot to think about as far as including them in that 12-team playoff. They obviously fell well short of that goal. So I think this Liberty team, I don't think we're going to see a supreme effort from Liberty in this bowl game against Buffalo. I think that's putting it mildly. Buffalo's not a great team. Make no bones about it. They're going to be below 100 in the 134-team FBS by anybody's account who makes power ratings. But they're going to be the more motivated team. They also lost to Liberty last year 55-27 in a non-conference game on their home field in September of last season. So there's a little bit extra motivation there as well. I think Buffalo's going to win this game over a diluted Liberty squad that couldn't care less, probably enjoying fun in the sun in the Bahamas. Give me the Buffalo Bulls -2 over Liberty.
Very good. You can follow Paul on X. He's at Paul Stone Sports. Great breakdowns as always, Paul. Best of luck. Have a great night tonight, and a Happy New Year.
Hey, same to you guys. Everybody be safe, and everybody have a great time watching the bowl games.
Yep, back at you.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. He joined us on the Progressive Guest line, and in the meantime, LSU scored again.
Return the kickoff.
Okay, so it's 34-14 right now. Did they miss the extra point?
Yeah.
I'll double-check that.
Yes, they did. Yep. That Buffalo game Saturday, by the way, early Saturday morning. Week 18 updates with information. Ravens 17.5. Browns might play Zappy and DTR. Bengals down to 1 against the Steelers, the late game Saturday. Tomlin, nothing's going to change even if the Ravens win. That's right now. Saints from 14.5 down to 13. Look at this now. Maybe Carr, Olave, and Kamara play.
That could happen.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. That'd be just if Carr plays, that's huge. Bills 2.5 against the Patriots. Allen will start, and then that'll be it. Patriots likely to sit May. A little birdie told me, though, the Patriots want to win the game.
Why?
I know. They get the number 1 pick if they lose. That's where we're at. Look at the Raiders. I know. Packers still 9. Dolphins won against the Jets, total of 39.
Jets are going to play everybody from what I assume.
I can't believe it.
What I hear.
Broncos up to 11 against the Chiefs, winning in. Chargers 6 against the Raiders. Harbaugh, we're going to do what's best for the organization. If the Steelers lose Saturday night, you have to play people, go for it, win, and take on the Texans. You've also played hard against and had 2 tight games against the Chiefs.
Right.
Got to do it.
Again, here would be the scenario, right? They would then get the 5 seed.
Yep.
They would play at Houston, first round of the playoffs.
Yep.
And they would avoid playing at Baltimore in the first round.
Huge.
It's that simple.
Colts 5 against Jacksonville, who knows? Atlanta 8 against Carolina. Commanders 4.5 against against Dallas. Dan Quinn, we're going to fight like hell to get to 6. Also, you could see Trey Lance for the Cowboys.
Keep in mind, a team like Washington, they recently had their bye week.
Good point.
So a team like Detroit, they're dying for the 1 seed.
Yeah, 5 seed. 5 weeks. 5 weeks, yeah.
It was week number 5 when they had their bye week.
Yes. And you avoid Philadelphia if you're Washington. Seattle up to 5.5. The Rams are going to sit people. I don't get it.
Yeah.
You're going to have to beat Minnesota, Detroit, that path. Plus, you got the Geno Smith incentives. Arizona up to 4. Ooh. It's likely Dobbs for the 49ers.
Right.
Texans, Titans pick. Starter's going to play, but for how long? I don't know.
I mean, if I'm D'Amico Ryans, all I have to do is throw on game tape of pretty much any drive of this year and say, our offense is broken. We need to figure something out here.
Lions 3 Sunday night, and also Eagles 3 against the Giants. Sirianni's still deciding. He's going to ask his players what they should do with Barkley. Ready to try something different? Sign up, start playing the ponies on First Bet. First Bet U.S.-based, offered wagering on hundreds of races every day across the country and around the world. Sign up firstbet.com, promo code VSIN200. Claim a 20% rebate for your first 60 days, up to $200. Get it now. $200 sign-up bonus, new users. Head to firstbet.com today.
All right, South Carolina, they've taken a 10-7 lead. Now that's it. Shut it off. No more. Up next, we will hit current NFL, the draft order up next. Wait until you hear what one NFL scout said and others are saying about this year's quarterback class. Oh, boy.
This is Follow the Money on VSIN.
Five bowl games in action. Okay, Louisville leads Washington 35-28. Looks like that ball game is coming to an end. No, hold on. I'm sorry. There's highlights right next to the actual game. So there's 3 minutes left, 3rd and 5 here for Louisville. This is a huge play for Washington defensively. And who knows how far behind the actual feed we are with this game, and that is incomplete.
All right. And then you score and you go for 2.
I would think.
Let's do this, baby.
South Carolina, they lead Illinois 10-7. I'm waiting for the pass interference flag to show because they just picked off Illinois, but it's not coming anytime soon. Evidently, the kid tripped, so now South Carolina got the ball back. I bet Illinois +9 in this game. They were leading 7-3 the entire first half, and now South Carolina scores here. Then we're talking about a 10-point deficit. And LSU goes to the break up 34-17 against Baylor. They're currently laying 11.5 in this game. Totals 82.5. All right. So Dane Brugler does a great job with the NFL draft. He works for The Athletic. And, the number 1 pick right now is currently owned by the New England Patriots. That's why I asked you in the previous segment, when you said that you got to source people, whatever, saying they want to win the game. Why would they want to win the game?
Well, look at the Giants. This is an all-timer.
It's total nonsense.
The Giants could go from the 1 to the 9 or 10 by winning these last two games.
Yep. Watch what's going to happen to the Raiders.
Oh, God.
Could have been picking number 1 overall.
I know.
Currently at 8. What if they shock the world? And that would be so fitting for the Raiders to do it one more time.
Yeah, Chargers sit people. Raiders win again. Pierce will do a victory lap.
They'll be smoking cigars, drinking in the game.
They'll be picking 12th, right.
So this is what Brugler wrote in his article. Some NFL scouts believe 1 or 2 quarterbacks are deserving of this year's first round. That would be Sanders and Ward, right? While others think drafting any quarterback in round 1 would be a mistake. That's where I fall. He wrote a comment from one AFC scout. Quote, "Man, I feel bad for the teams trying to find one quarterback in this group." End of quote. Now, scouts can be wrong. GMs can be wrong. It happens every year, multiple times. in every single draft. The current odds at FanDuel, Sanders minus 120, Cam Ward plus 155, Travis Hunter plus 380. That's to go number 1 overall. Right? If the Patriots lose to the Bills, and if they keep the number 1 overall pick, they're taking Hunter, aren't they?
Well, that also, everyone's got a price, though. That could be, you trade down.
I'm saying if they kept the pick.
Wow. You would hope so if they kept the pick.
I just think these teams would be out of their minds, first of all, to lose games, or check that, to win games down the stretch when you didn't have to, and then to trade back up to get number 1 overall. Do you know how idiotic that is?
I can't believe it. I can't believe what we're watching. But that's, again...
It's all-time dumb.
It's going to happen, though. That's why you need to lose, because someone is going to trade up, and someone's still going to say, I'll do what Carolina did.
No.
I'll do it, because I want that quarterback so bad.
Can't do it.
And I'm going to give you whatever you want, and the Patriots got to sit back. If they do this right and lose against the Bills, there it is. But this goes back to, right? Like every year we see it. Doesn't matter. Got to move up. Got to move. Fell in love. Found our guy. Got to have it. What do you need? What do you want? Let's go. Let's start. Move up. Everyone's got a price.
Sure.
Right? So
I'll say this about the Texans, right? 2 years ago, Lovie Smith, he thought that if he won the final game of the season, he might be back. The team never told him.
That's right. Yeah, good point.
Never told him. So he's like, I got to win this game.
Yeah.
They did. It was a miracle how they won it.
Yeah.
And so they went from owning the number 1 pick. They had their choice between, Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud and others. So they fell to number 2. Panthers gave away that massive haul for Bryce Young. And then Houston's like, okay, we're going to take Stroud. Well, last year, it looked like it worked out. Today, if I told you Bryce Young's better than Stroud, I don't think I'm going to get any resistance to that. He might be better today.
Yeah. Hunter seems like a good bet there. But that's, if the Patriots play, they should play ball here. I can't believe the comments I'm hearing out of New England. But that's, you're set up, or if you trade it, then we'll see. But to his point, though, about where these, I agree with Matt Humans. He was stronger on it than I was, that Sanders cost himself some money. How bad he played against BYU. How do you not, Ward was fantastic. It's just, in Miami fired their defensive coordinator today.
Right.
But you wasted an all-time great year out of Ward.
Oh, he was amazing the entire year.
Yeah, he's a great story, and a little lackadaisical with some of the throws and a little too nonchalant, but you're going to fix that, and I think Ward's going to be a good pro. I don't know about Sanders. And then you have the circus atmosphere and what he brings to the table, too.
Right.
But how high? Good point. But
there's also, like, in this story from Brugler,
yep,
it points out that, where would you rank, or he was actually asked this on a tweet, where would you put McCarthy? He said he had McCarthy ahead of all these guys. And McCarthy went, 11th overall?
Yeah, that's big. That's your big boy, right?
So, look,
that's damning.
I've been around for a long time at this point, right? I've watched every draft that I can remember going back to the late 80s. And I used to be, when you're 12 and 13, 14 years old, you're like, oh, all these players are going to be great. I watched them play in college. They're going to turn out to be Hall of Famers. As you get older, you realize that's not the way it works. A lot of guys flop. It doesn't matter how good they were in college. So the more I've seen that in my time of, watching players in college, the draft, how it goes, I typically lean towards being very pessimistic towards quarterbacks, that specific position. Now, last year's draft, it appears as if we have a lot of guys who can play. Daniel, certainly fantastic. I thought he was going to be really good. May, I think, can play. Williams, I'll hold out hope. I don't know. He's got a lot of work. Mm-hmm. Nix is way better than I thought. Mm-hmm. And I think Penix can be a player.
Yeah.
McCarthy, we have no idea who was injured.
Right.
But I would have said that at best, 3 of them would work out. So far, I'd say that I was wrong in that draft. But for the most part, every draft going back, it turns out where more quarterbacks who are drafted in the first round are bad than they are good. So that's where I go with all these guys. I'm going to say no way to Sanders, and I'm going to say probably no way to Cam Ward. That high anyway in the draft.
Yeah, well, I touched on it briefly yesterday, but this is absolute insanity. New England, Tennessee, Cleveland Giants, same record, 3-13. Jacksonville, 5 through 9. Jacksonville, Carolina, Jets, Las Vegas, and the Bears, all 4-12. So New England, the Giants already did it. The Raiders already did it. The Giants did it. The Giants can get worse, and the Patriots now can make it a trifecta by knocking off the Eagles. The Patriots doing it by knocking off the Bills and dropping from 1 to God knows how. Yes, they get a top 5 pick, but to fall from 1 to 4 or 1, stupid. Stupid.
Well, the teams that are right behind because Patriots aren't going quarterback.
Right, but that, yeah, sure.
So,
you know what you're going to do? You trade down, or who's to say Hunter's not there at 3? You move back from 1 to 3. One of these teams who needs a quarterback, trade up, get the haul, bam.
Do the Titans automatically take a quarterback?
I don't know. They don't know what they're doing. So that's in terms of their buffoons, I'm saying.
I mean,
you would think you got to move on from Will Levis. He can't play.
Here's the thing. Every mock draft will have the Titans, the Browns, the Giants all taking a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, the Browns won't do that. They just redid Watson's deal.
Okay, but they won't play him.
Yeah.
So, but I would flip that and say taking Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, good chance at number 2 or number 3 is way too early.
Yeah.
Look, globally speaking, you can find odds on this. For example, like if the Patriots trade the number 1 pick, who is it going to be to? Like, who's the team? The Raiders are the short shot at 2-1. The Giants are plus 250. The Titans are 4. The Browns are 5, and the Jets are 5. The Raiders, I love what Brent Musburger said an hour and 15 minutes ago. Offer a 3 to the Vikings for McCarthy. See, and then you could have it like incentives based.
Well, you better sign Darnold. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
It's based on that, right?
Yes, I
because
got you.
if they break the bank and re-sign Darnold, when's McCarthy ever going to play?
There it is.
When is
it's
that?
Like Jordan Love and Rodgers.
That's exactly
You're
right.
You're going 3-4 years down the road, if not longer. What if Darnold wins a Super Bowl? I mean, come on. But I keep mentioning this on the pregame show with Humans and Von Tobel. I'd rather have Jake Browning than, come on. The guy came in, lit it up, and won games last year in place of Burrow.
Where
you can have that guy.
I know he got hurt again last night, I think. Where are you at with Brock Purdy?
I can't give him that contract. No way.
But would you take him over the 2 guys that are supposed to be first-round picks? I have no idea if Sanders or Cam Ward would be better than Brock Purdy. I have no clue. Neither does anybody else.
I think if you put Ward on the 49ers, I think that'd be scary. Don't you?
I brought this up to you on the air a couple of weeks ago. Would you offer Purdy and your first-round pick and other stuff to a team that's drafting top 3, let's say, and go and start all over and go quarterback?
I don't want Purdy.
I brought up Travis Hunter. You don't want Purdy?
No.
Because he's in the right system?
Yes.
With a ton of talent around him?
How bad were those throws last night?
Oh, they were, but he also had 400 yards passing,
yeah, I know
3
he played
touchdowns.
Well, but I also, I have an embarrassment of riches. I also went 6-11. I don't care who's out. Look at Detroit.
They were just not good this year. Now 1,000 injuries. It's not all on him.
Well, I'm not saying, but I'm not giving him $90 million.
Oh, neither am
Mitch.
I. I don't give any of these guys that much money.
Yeah, I would say you could put a lot of guys in that system, and they're going to light it up.
Yeah.
So that's...
and by any, I mean the Brock Purdy types, the Trevor Lawrence. No chance would I ever sign those guys that much money.
They have a tough decision to make, no doubt.
So do the Vikings. Maybe it's not even that tough, but it's going to be.
I'd feel good about paying Darnold based on the coach, the weapons, and the guy might win 15 games.
All right. We're going to get into sports betting resolutions up next here on New Year's Eve. I have struggled with this for a long time. It's now time to let it go.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Bowl game shenanigans. 35-28 Louisville over Washington, and the Huskies had a 4th and goal. That was like from the 12-yard line, something like that?
Yeah.
They throw it into the end zone, the corner of the end zone, incomplete. They get bailed out. I thought it was a weak, I don't have any action. I thought it was a weak PI call, and now so it's 1st and goal again for Washington.
Let's go, hurry up, the clock's running.
25 seconds, and the quarterback now, he's scrambling, trying to get in.
Oh!
He reached over the pylon. No, they're going to say that he was out of bounds about the 1-yard line. 15 seconds left here. Boy, he almost got in.
I thought they were going to tackle him in bounds, too. Be careful, young man.
Gets down to like the 2, tries to leap 2 defenders. Oh, boy.
Close.
Wait, hold on. He dropped the ball. Did he drop the ball over the pylon out of bounds through the end zone? If so, that's Louisville ball.
No. Went out of bounds.
It was out of bounds?
That's from my angle.
Before the pylon?
Yeah. But then again,
this is the pylon angle right here.
Hey. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I can't tell.
I got the sun in my eyes.
Can't tell. I can't tell. Game would have been over, but they called the PI. Ooh,
All right.
It's getting good. And then Illinois scored to take the lead.
That's good.
At that. SEC pride, baby. Excellent.
14. All right, so we'll keep you up to date. I think we have to do this every single year, right? Like New Year's betting resolutions.
Sure. Also, our changing times was big for us to show everyone, and also just the whole new world out there with the props. Because, I mean, look, NBA stuff's never up when we were on for 6 years.
Yeah.
Stuff was never up. So ftm@vsin.com, the email, and tweet at us as well, Instagram, whatever you want to do. We're throwing it up to you now. New Year's betting resolutions. What are you going to fix? What are you going to change? What are you swearing off of? What are you done with? What do you need to embrace more? ftm@vsin.com, or tweet at us as well. Number 4, talked about this earlier. Don't bet games you're not watching. Don't live bet them, is what I mean. Don't live bet games you're not watching.
100%.
You can't. You just have no feel and no read, because we were kicking it around. You asked me about the Baylor thing.
Right.
I can't really tell from the box score, but what's, there could be, maybe they can't run the ball. Maybe the offensive line shaky. It's just, to me, it seems like a no-brainer, but don't live bet games you're not watching. Number 3, this goes for video poker and also sports betting. Don't chase. If you lose, accept your loss. If you take a bad beat, you have to move on. One of the worst beats of my life and could cost me dearly was Denver plus 3.5 on Saturday. I was livid. I was ready to break stuff. But that's not, you just got to move on and get ready for the next game. And I actually caught a break the next night. While certainly Washington was the right side and 4th and goal from the 11 and 2nd and goal from the 26, I had Washington laying the 4. I get there in overtime. So, but you can't chase and accept the loss or a bad beat. 2, ladder. Absolutely. Specifically what the tight ends have done. All right? McBride, Bowers, Smith. It's just ridiculous, these numbers that they're putting up. 11 receptions, touchdowns.
Quarterback rushing yards.
No problem, right? Another good one. Absolutely.
Rebounds in the Wemby threes.
Wemby threes. Hello. Right.
That's a good one, Paul. I'm adding that.
Everything. I got to do it. I do a better job. And Mike Somich has also been great doing this with us every Friday. Go back to Devontae Adams when he had that big game against Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Number 1, I have hurt myself numerous times this year and throughout the years doing this. I got this from Fitz. He put it best. Fitz works here at Circa. You make a bet, you live with it. And it ties in a little bit to number 3. For example, a side or a total. If you make a bet, bam, your opponent goes right down the field and scores. Or it gets off to a bad start, and you just try to get off the bet, or you bet a game under 57 and it's 14-0 early. You can middle yourself. You can cost yourself a winner. Vaccaro always likes to say that it comes back to the number. Make a bet, live with it, tie it into number 3 as well. But if something goes haywire early on, don't panic and certainly don't come back and take a worse number, and then you can middle yourself.
That ties into my number 1 resolution for 2025, but I'll go in reverse order as well. I need to start thinking in terms of percentages. This is actually number 5. I have a list of 5. And not necessarily like money lines. For example, if a team is minus 150 to win the game, that means they have a 60% chance to win. The correlation there. So does that mean the opponent with no VIG would have a 40% chance to win? I need to think in terms of percentages more than like money lines. And when you like get into like money lines, like what's the real difference between like minus 150 and minus 180? And then what's the difference between like minus $3 and minus $4? Because when the higher you get, the less difference there is overall in the percentage. So thinking in terms of that, make certain sports more important. There's no way. And my wife and I adopted a kid in June. Now, I still pour endless hours into the show and into betting every single day of my life, but has he cut into it maybe a little bit? I got to, being real here, I'm drained every night by 8:15, by 8:30. Like he sucks the life. That's what happens when you have a kid. They suck the life out of you. It's been great. No, because
Okay.
Well, I could show you some videos.
I know, but it's just how you set it up.
I get you.
Right.
Yeah, but it's like that's it. When he wants to play, and he doesn't stop talking, and like that. It's just like an hour of that. Man, it's a bit much.
Washington scores 4th and goal.
Okay.
Now going for 2 in the win.
I just heard the sportsbook erupt, actually.
Yeah, it did. It was loud. It was a loud roar. Sorry, buddy.
So making certain sports more important. So, for example, like I don't have time to break down every single UFC card. I'm going to listen to guys like Luffy Nicaro on the show. And I will tie this into when we go over win totals this year in the NFL. I spent the offseason giving way more time to the NFL than college football. And it paid off for me. Like every other summer of my life, it's almost like 50-50. This year, I made a plan. I'm going to make it about 95% NFL and 5% college football. And the results are not going to lie. So I need to stick with that moving forward. More player props for sure. I mean, that's just...
Oh, yes.
It's my favorite thing to bet now. I like betting these props more than I like betting sides or totals. Did he get it?
Incomplete.
Nope, incomplete. Louisville wins 35-34.
Well, look at the tight ends. Look at Wembanyama. And look at some of the... Imagine if you laddered Pearsall last night.
No kidding. And I will tell you, like, betting baseball is a suicide mission.
Yeah.
Nick Bogdanovich came up with one of the best lines in the history of this network years ago when he said you need a bottle of whiskey and a revolver to bet baseball. He's right. And just betting player props in that sport, far more enjoyable for me than betting sides or totals when you go to the bullpens now after 5 innings and everything changes. I am going to limit the amount of future bets that I make from now on.
Good idea.
I go a little bit too far over my skis with the future bets. I don't have to bet every single award in the NFL in June every year. You can find awesome numbers during the season. So I'm gonna limit that for sure. And then number one, I think this will be a little polarizing. But to go back to what you said, don't bet games you're not watching. Don't chase. Make a bet. Live with it.
Okay.
I am going to watch I really want to accomplish this. I want to watch fewer games that I have action on. And I've had pro bettors tell me before, and I until they said something to me, I think it was a year ago, I never thought about it like this. And they were spot on. You have a willingness to get out of your bet.
Yes.
So many times during games when you're watching it live.
That's a great point. Yes.
So
That's
I can tape a game.
Uh-huh.
And so if you make a bet, live with it. That's tough for me to do when I'm watching it live. And I know, because I've given away a lot of money doing that and making that mistake.
Ties in. Yeah.
So I can tape the game. I can come back and watch it later on that night. In the morning, I can watch the highlights. I can read all the recaps. I don't have to watch it live. I can make a bet and go do something else with my life.
I did it last night. I said there's no way the Lions are going to... They didn't. Purdy turned it over. But I said there's no way the Lions are going to stop San Francisco, lay the 1.5 in play. And I kept doing it. And it's...
Yeah.
But if I'm not watching the game...
That's the point, right?
I don't make the bet.
That's exactly right. And so if I have a strong position on a game, I'm going to be tempted to get off at some point or try to middle it. Why? Why do that all the time? Unless I'm specifically going to attack a game from a live betting standpoint, then no way. No way. I've given so much back in the second quarter of a game when I'm like, why did I do that? Why? That was stupid. Mm-hmm. Panic bet, hit submit, didn't have to, didn't like what I was seeing. And like you said, Vaccaro's, it comes back to the number so often.
I have middled myself so many times in the last 2 years.
I can't stand it. It's not worth the aggravation.
Nuts. No, it drives me nuts. I got to be better. Want to be a sharper better this holiday season? VSiN is the ultimate gift for you or the sports better in your life. This is the final week to take advantage of our holiday special. Get VSiN Pro access to everything we offer through May 1st, just $79. Every best bet, every host, every guest. The betting splits from DraftKings and Circa. The 24/7 video access as well. The betting guides make this holiday season unforgettable. VSiN.com/subscribe. Get that winning edge today. Again, every single day, the website's loaded with information and picks. Cohen with the NBA and the day games, Burke with the Bulls, Mackin and NFL, Nigel with the soccer, VSiN.com/subscribe.
A lot of reaction pouring in. We'll go over some of that coming up here. And also, reminder here, with the Week 18 numbers, just because a team has to win doesn't mean they're going to.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
+3. Welcome back. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. A lot of great thoughts coming in on betting resolutions for 2025 from the audience. We'll get to that coming up in a second. I did tease before the break, just because a team has to win, it doesn't mean they're going to. I'll give you 2 examples. And the Ravens don't have to win, but it'd be nice, right? That means they're going to win their division. And not have to go on the road in the first round of the playoffs. So I'll throw another team at you. The Broncos do have to win this game.
Well,
I mean, they can get in
Miami
with
and
other
Cincinnati
crazy
could
things.
lose, yeah.
Sure, but they want to just take care of business, and they're going to get a Chiefs team, in theory, that will play nobody. That number keeps going up, and away, by the way.
Yep.
Now, having said what I just did, can you see the Ravens losing to the Browns?
No way in hell.
Neither can I.
No.
Can you see the Broncos losing to the Chiefs?
Yes.
So could I.
This has happened before.
It has happened.
The Pittsburgh Steelers knocked out the Drew Bledsoe Bills one year. Was it Tommy Maddox? Who was somebody? I don't know. Yeah.
Willis McGahee was on Buffalo, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is a big loss for Billy Walters. And our dear friend Dave Malinsky, who passed away, told us about this. Billy Walters was chasing one year, and in the final game of the season, Billy Walters was responsible for like a 6-point move in an NFL game. The Chargers needed to beat the Chiefs to get in the playoffs. I think the line went from 11 to 16 or 17. It was the Chiefs' backups. They were losing in the fourth quarter.
That's right.
I think it was Chase Daniel and somebody.
Yeah.
And they won by 3, I think. So
there are examples out there
yes.
of, I'm just going to do a money line or late. Okay, careful with that. Resolutions coming in. You can always tweet us at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Pauly Howard. Also on Instagram, VSiN Live, Pauly Does Vegas, and Mitch Moss. This is from Mark. His resolution, less parlays, more individual bets. That's always a good idea. I will say that if I do like a same-game parlay, it's not like it's like pizza money. It's to have some fun and to be entertained. People lose their minds over, you can't possibly recommend parlays. Calm down. Betting can be fun once in a while, too. From Moneyline Marv, increasing unit size, more player prop straight bets, more soccer in-play bets. That'd be a Mike Palm dream come true right there, hearing somebody say that.
Yeah.
This is from Joe DeFan. Never bet angry. I would also add, never bet when you've had too much to drink.
Oh,
that'll.
Wow, yes. I think that goes without saying. But then there's someone we know who does that. But that's
This is from now. This is a great tweet from Colin. His New Year's resolution is to not be afraid to continue to fade teams week after week after week that are criminally overrated.
Bingo.
Yep.
That is awesome.
Like the Titans, Arizona Wildcats football, Florida State. The teams are not due. The market just does not adjust. I have the same problem. We do this every week during the football season, right? Best and worst ATS teams. Take a wild guess how many times I bet against the Titans and like Florida State this year. Combined, it was like 3 times. I did not take advantage of that fully.
Yeah, all time out of Tennessee.
Yeah, right.
You're never going to see someone go 2-14 ATS again, right? And to think they were a 5-point favorite Sunday night or Monday. I know. Strong.
This is
totally agree.
Par Me Up says, after the Super Bowl, I'm taking a break until Thanksgiving. Worst year I've had in 5 years. It's actually not a bad idea to take a break once in a while. That's allowed. You're not going to get thrown into prison for that. From our buddy Weston. This kind of flips it from what Colin was saying. But Weston says, set a limit on number of losses that you're willing to take on a certain team ATS during a season. For example, you can bet a team in the NFL 3 or 4 times and lose, just stay off them the rest of the year. And Chris Massero saying he's never betting the Browns ever again. My guess is he has lost many times on that team the last decade.
Yeah. Well, I also hope, and these are good emails and tweets going back to what we just saw with the Jets. Just like, what this doesn't make any sense. I'm playing against the Jets. Got to come back. How are the Jets favored? Again, how are they? You have to keep doing it, right?
Right.
And it was just,
this year.
I almost fell over that one when the look-ahead line, they were favored against Indy.
And they were favored against Seattle.
Yeah, and Houston.
You laughed out loud.
Now they beat Houston, but again, they have 4 wins.
I know.
And they started out, they lost, there's a stretch they lost 8 of 9, and they were favored in every game. Come on.
Yep. This is from Matt Saint, who won Circuit Millions last year, stop caring about what the sharp and square sides are. Take the side that your numbers, data, eye test say you should. It's a good idea. Bill Hooker. Do not bet another favorite minus 1.5.
1.5, 2.5.
Take a money line.
Amen, brother.
Yep.
Amen. Take the points or go money line with the favorite. Mm-hmm. You'll be stunned how many times the games fall one or two, no matter the sport. What did Mike Palm send anything in, guys, too? I asked for his take on this as well because he's big into in-play, what he threw up.
This is from Conan. Do a better job of hiding my wins from my wife. That's good. Can you get a separate account? Is that possible? Or is it too late in the game for that? I thrive.
That shouldn't be hard. Unless she's got you. Yeah.
I thrive in this area. Do you? I could teach a master class on this.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She is in outer space. Has no clue.
About the whole business?
Absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been good.
Okay.
That's really, really good, actually, yeah.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Mike Palm, from a bookmaker standpoint, offer more props, offer more in-game. Mike Palm's standpoint, fund more accounts, eliminate full game totals in the NHL. New Year's betting resolutions.
He's eliminating what?
Eliminate full game totals in NHL.
Okay.
He needs just focus in play and first period.
In play and first
periods,
period,
rather. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Again, shrink it down, derivatives, that kind of thing. I like that. Attack. That's why, like the guys on Twitter, Chris Otto and Ian Duncan.
Fantastic.
They're phenomenal. They break it down like the goal in the first 10 and the teams that are awesome in the period, whatever they are in the first period run, second period, third, all of that stuff. That's one way to approach it as well. The full game stuff, man, it's like this year. How much money were you making for if you got on that early and just said, I'm not going to get off till I loses twice on the fading the Eagles in the first quarter? It was a jackpot.
That's right.
Every single Sunday for the first 2.5 months. Yes.
Tie it into hockey?
Chiefs second half unders last year,
right.
I think.
18-2, something? Yeah. And hockey put this show on the map, too. First period overs.
That's right.
Chicago and Tampa Bay. I think combined it was like 29-1. It was ridiculous what happened. And then it became the Follow the Money 5 as well. So, when they put this up, you want to do team total or take the points? You decide. G-Bank best bet of the day, based on what we saw last night.
Okay, this is the thing for me. I have the Lions to win the most games.
Oh, my God.
The entire year.
Oh, my God.
And if the Chiefs lose, I might just take Vikings money line to make sure I win. Again, this comes down to I'm going to get off hedging. Hedging's a bad word. Mike Palm said this it should be outlawed. It should be monetizing your ticket.
Yes.
And so I have a Lions at plus 950 most wins. I want to show something for that.
Damn right. Now, a guy who doesn't like the hedge, but Cousin Sal has a parlay. Chiefs and Lions 1 seed, 26-1. Oh. You've got to bet Minnesota money line.
You have to.
You have to.
No question.
Or take the point. We try to win both. Whatever you want to do there. But that's absolutely. So I've seen enough the last couple of weeks. I love the story. They're going to have to play perfect football offensively to get it done. But we're going to take the 3 Sunday night in what could be the biggest regular season game in history. Sunday night, Vikings plus 3. Best bets brought to you by G-Bank, official bank of VSiN. You can also go with the Vikings team total as well. If you're serious about sports betting, you need the G-Bank Visa Signature Card. Most credit card street sports books and gaming transactions as cash advances, even when you put your own money on the card. G-Bank treats gaming transactions as purchases, so you're typically saving up to 3 to 5% on cash advance fees right there. For a limited time, you get a $250 bonus after you spend $1,000 in the first 90 days. Apply now, VSiN.com/Gbank, VSiN.com/Gbank. Subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions may apply.
Boy, we have a high wire act here in the Baylor-LSU game. Touchdown Baylor Bears, 6 plays, 63 yards, 2.5 minutes. 34-23 PATE as pending 6:21 to play in the third quarter. And South Carolina now leads Illinois 17-14. That's under 10 to play in the fourth quarter. It's 3rd and 4 right now for the Illini. I think they have a deep inside Gamecock territory. Good day of bowls.
Yeah.
Bama almost came back to win that game against Michigan today.
Yeah.
Boy, the Bama money. That got to 16.5 before kickoff.
Turnover. Yeah.
All right, Pat Forty is going to join the program coming up next, live in Phoenix for the Fiesta Bowl. He did something for the only time in his career when he was there watching Boise State beat Oklahoma like 17, 18 years ago. He'll tell you what it was coming up next.